Right now, at this exact moment, over 537 million human beings on this planet are living with diabetes. That is more people than the entire population of North America. And here is the frightening part. Nearly half of them have no idea. They feel the tiredness, yes. They notice the thirst. Maybe their vision blurs at the edges. But they have no understanding of what is actually happening inside them, in their organs, in their blood, in their cells, at a level so deep and so silent that most people will not discover it until serious damage has already been done. Today, on this channel, we are doing something different. We are going inside the human body. Not with vague explanations or confusing medical language, but with precise, scientifically grounded, step-by-step clarity. We are going to show you exactly what diabetes does to your body at the level of your organs and your cells. And then, and this is the part that will change your life, we are going to show you how 3 specific natural foods, backed by modern clinical research and thousands of years of traditional medicine, can begin to heal that damage from the inside out, beginning with your very first meal. This is not a promise. This is biology. And it starts right now. Look at this figure, a human body, just like yours. From the outside, completely normal. But when we cut through to what is happening inside, the story is very different. Look at this organ. Tucked behind the stomach, the size of your hand laid flat, this is the pancreas, and in the context of blood sugar, it is the single most important organ in your body. The pancreas contains clusters of specialized cells called beta cells, and their only job, their entire reason for existing, is to produce a hormone called insulin. Insulin is the key. Every single cell in your body has a lock on its surface, and insulin is the key that opens that lock and allows glucose, the sugar from your food, to enter the cell and be converted into energy. Without insulin working properly, your cells cannot access that fuel no matter how much sugar is floating in your bloodstream. In type 1 diabetes, the immune system destroys the beta cells entirely, so the body produces no insulin at all. In type 2 diabetes, which accounts for over 90% of all cases, the beta cells are exhausted from years of overproduction, and the body's cells have become resistant to the insulin that does exist, like a lock that has been used so many times the tumblers have worn down and the key no longer turns. What you are seeing on this organ right now, that pale, dull, strained appearance, that is a pancreas under years of diabetic stress. Now let us go even deeper, all the way down to the microscopic world where diabetes is truly born. This is what insulin resistance looks like at the level of a single cell. You can see glucose molecules, small, 6-sided sugar units derived from everything you have eaten, floating in the fluid between your cells. They are trying to get inside, because that is where they belong. But the receptor sites on the outer surface of the cell, the molecular locks designed to receive insulin and open the glucose gates, are coated and blocked. Inflammation, excess fat molecules, and the byproducts of chronic high blood sugar have gummed up the mechanism entirely. Insulin arrives and knocks, but the door will not open. And so glucose stays in the blood. It circulates. It concentrates. Blood glucose levels rise to dangerous levels. And here is what that elevated sugar does over time. It behaves like a corrosive chemical. It binds to proteins in your blood vessel walls, a process called glycation, making those vessels rigid, brittle, and narrow. It generates massive quantities of free radicals that damage cell membranes, mitochondria, and DNA. It triggers a systemic inflammatory response that attacks your kidneys, your retinas, your nerves, and your heart. Every complication of diabetes, every one, begins here, in this invisible microscopic failure. But nature has answers. Specific, precise, scientifically validated answers. And the first one is a fruit. Look at this fruit. Deep, almost black purple. Smooth and glistening with moisture. Small enough to hold a dozen in your palm. This is JAMUN, known across the world as black plum, Java plum, or by its botanical name, Syzygium cumini. It grows abundantly across South Asia, Southeast Asia, and tropical regions worldwide, and it has been prescribed by Ayurvedic healers for over 3,000 years specifically and exclusively for the management of blood sugar. For millennia, practitioners of traditional Indian medicine used every part of this tree, the fruit, the seeds, the bark, even the leaves, to treat what they called madhumaha, or honey urine, the ancient name for diabetes. And here is the extraordinary thing. Modern molecular science has now not only confirmed what those ancient healers observed, but explained exactly why it works, at the level of enzymes, hormones, and cellular receptors. JAMUN is one of the most comprehensively anti-diabetic fruits on Earth, and it works through multiple simultaneous biological mechanisms that no single pharmaceutical drug can replicate. The moment you eat JAMUN, whether you consume the whole fruit, crush the seeds into powder, or drink the juice, The bioactive compounds begin their work almost immediately in your digestive tract. As the fruit arrives in the small intestine and the pancreatic enzymes begin their work, something crucial happens. Jamboline, that remarkable alkaloid concentrated most densely in the JAMUN seed, binds directly to alpha-glucosidase, the enzyme lining the intestinal wall whose job it is to break complex carbohydrates and starches into simple glucose molecules for absorption. By inhibiting this enzyme, Jamboline acts like a brake on the entire process of sugar absorption. Instead of your blood sugar level shooting upward in a sharp spike after a meal, the way it normally does in a diabetic, it rises slowly, gently, and in a controlled manner that the insulin system can actually manage. Think of it this way: without JAMUN, sugar enters your blood like a wall of water bursting through a dam. With JAMUN, that same water flows through a controlled sluice gate, steady, measured, and completely manageable. The pancreas, instead of being overwhelmed, can respond appropriately. The blood sugar curve flattens. The system stabilizes. Now watch the pancreas, the same organ we saw struggling and pale under the weight of diabetes. As the anthocyanins and ellagic acid from JAMUN enter the bloodstream and reach pancreatic tissue, something remarkable begins. The oxidative damage that has been progressively destroying beta cells is met with a counterforce. Anthocyanins are among the most potent free radical scavengers in the plant kingdom, and they cross directly into pancreatic tissue to neutralize the reactive oxygen species that have been killing insulin-producing cells. Research from the University of Montpellier demonstrated that anthocyanin-rich extracts not only protected existing beta cells from further oxidative damage, but actually stimulated the regeneration of new beta cells from precursor stem-like cells within the pancreas itself. New beta cells. Rebuilt. Renewed. The organ that diabetes has been slowly destroying begins, for the first time, to rebuild itself. Insulin production, which had been falling for years, begins to stabilize and then incrementally improve. The pale, strained appearance begins to resolve. The pancreas remembers what it was designed to do, and it begins to do it again. At the cellular level, the final and most profound transformation is now underway. Those blocked cell receptor sites, coated and locked by glycated proteins and inflammatory debris, are being cleared. The ellagic acid in JAMUN inhibits the formation of advanced glycation end products, the sticky, toxic compounds formed when excess blood sugar chemically bonds to proteins on your cell surfaces. As these agents are neutralized, the molecular architecture of the cell receptor clears. The lock is restored. Insulin can now fit perfectly into the receptor. The gate swings open. Glucose molecules that have been circulating helplessly in the bloodstream finally enter the cell, reach the mitochondria, and are converted into ATP, adenosine triphosphate, the fundamental unit of energy that powers every biological process in the human body. The cell glows with restored function. Multiply this by the hundreds of trillions of cells in your body, and you begin to understand what daily JAMUN consumption is doing at a scale that is almost incomprehensible. But the healing journey does not end with fruit. We need a vegetable, and the one we are about to meet might be the most powerful blood sugar medicine that nature has ever created. This vegetable has earned a nickname in the global medical research community that is unlike anything given to any other plant food on Earth. Scientists call it plant insulin. Doctors in India, China, and across sub-Saharan Africa have prescribed it for generations. And in the last 3 decades, over 100 peer-reviewed clinical studies have confirmed what traditional healers knew intuitively. Bitter gourd, known as Karela in Pakistan and India, bitter melon in the West, and botanically as Mamordica charantia, contains bioactive compounds that mimic, trigger, and enhance the action of insulin in the human body more directly than any other vegetable ever studied. Yes, it is profoundly bitter. And that bitterness is not a flaw, it is the medicine itself. The phytochemicals responsible for its sharp taste are the exact same compounds responsible for its blood sugar-lowering power. Do not try to remove the bitterness. Embrace it. Every time your taste buds recoil from it, know that the compounds causing that sensation are simultaneously entering your bloodstream and instructing your body to lower its blood glucose. This is one of the most extraordinary relationships in all of nutritional medicine. Watch closely as bitter gourd moves through the small intestine. The lining of the intestinal wall is carpeted with millions of microscopic finger-like projections called villi, and each villus is itself covered in even smaller microvilli, together creating an absorptive surface area of approximately 250 square meters inside a tube that fits inside your abdomen. One of the most dangerous and least discussed aspects of living with diabetes is not the blood sugar itself, it is the chronic, systemic, low-grade inflammation that high blood sugar causes throughout the entire body. When glucose concentrations remain elevated for extended periods, the immune system interprets this as a form of cellular damage and responds by releasing pro-inflammatory cytokines, signaling molecules like tumor necrosis factor alpha, interleukin-6, and C-reactive protein, into the bloodstream. These inflammatory signals damage blood vessel endothelium, causing the vessels to stiffen and narrow. They inflame the nerve sheaths, causing the burning, tingling pain of diabetic neuropathy. They attack the glomerular filters in the kidney, beginning the process of nephropathy. They increase the permeability of retinal blood vessels, setting the stage for diabetic retinopathy and eventual blindness. This is the true mechanism behind almost every complication of long-term diabetes. And bitter gourd addresses it directly. Research published in Phytomedicine demonstrated that Mamordica charantia extract significantly reduced circulating levels of TNF-alpha and Illinois-6 in diabetic animal models and human subjects alike. The inflamed, angry red tissue you saw just moments ago begins to cool. Vessel walls relax and regain flexibility. Nerve sheaths decompress. The biological fire that diabetes ignites throughout the body begins, at last, to be extinguished. We have healed the cells. We have cooled the inflammation. Now comes the third and final pillar of this natural healing protocol, a drink so simple that you can prepare it in 30 seconds tonight, before you go to sleep, and have it ready to consume the moment you wake up tomorrow morning. This golden amber liquid is fenugreek seed water. You take 1 to 2 teaspoons of whole fenugreek seeds, the small, hard, yellowish seeds available in every grocery store and kitchen pantry across South Asia, the Middle East, and increasingly the world, and you soak them overnight in a glass of plain water. By morning, the seeds have released their extraordinary bioactive content into the water, which takes on that characteristic warm, slightly bitter, slightly maple syrup aroma that fenugreek is known for. You drink this water, with or without the seeds, according to your preference, on an empty stomach, before your first meal of the day. That is the entire preparation. No blender required. No cooking. No expense. No pharmacy. And yet this ancient, humble morning ritual is, according to a growing body of clinical evidence, one of the most pharmacologically active dietary interventions for blood sugar management that nutritional science has ever documented. There is a symptom of diabetes that is so pervasive, so universally experienced by those living with the condition, that many diabetics have simply accepted it as a permanent feature of their lives. It is not the thirst, not the frequent urination, not even the blurry vision. It is the fatigue. A deep, persistent, bone-level exhaustion that waking up rested does not fix, that coffee does not touch, that cannot be explained by physical exertion. This fatigue exists for a precise biological reason. The cells of the body are starving for energy even while swimming in a sea of glucose. The fuel is everywhere. The cell cannot access it. The mitochondria, those remarkable organelles inside every cell that convert glucose into ATP, the actual currency of cellular energy, are running nearly empty. And so the person feels hollow, depleted, and profoundly tired. Now watch what happens as insulin sensitivity is restored through the combined action of JAMUN, bitter gourd, and fenugreek seed water. Glucose flows through the reopened receptor gates. It reaches the mitochondria. The electron transport chain fires. ATP is synthesized in quantities the cell has not seen in years. That fog that sits behind your eyes in the morning, it lifts. The heaviness in your limbs that you have named tiredness, it releases. The shakiness you feel between meals as your blood sugar swings wildly, it steadies. You feel, perhaps for the first time in years, completely and genuinely alive. That is not poetic language. That is the restoration of your cellular energy production, running as it was designed to run. Look at these cells. These are the same cells we showed you at the very beginning of this video. Blocked, starved, inflamed, locked against their own fuel supply by the molecular consequences of diabetes. But look at them now. The receptor sites are clear and open, gleaming with restored molecular architecture. Insulin binds to them with perfect affinity. The glucose transport gates open smoothly and completely. Glucose enters the cell cleanly and efficiently. The mitochondria, revitalized after years of substrate starvation, pulse with golden energy as they convert that glucose into the ATP that powers every heartbeat, every thought, every breath, every movement. There is no inflammation. There are no free radicals crashing through the cellular membrane causing oxidative damage. There are no glycated proteins blocking the receptor sites. There is no excess glucose circulating uselessly in the blood, corroding vessel walls and feeding the cascade of complications. There is just life, cellular life, functioning at the extraordinary level of precision and elegance for which it was always designed. This is what consistent, deliberate, scientifically grounded nutrition does. Not overnight. Not in a week. But progressively, accumulate day after day, meal after meal, morning glass by morning glass. And to make this as actionable as possible, here is your complete daily protocol, the exact way to incorporate all 3 of these foods into your life beginning tomorrow. Look at this body one final time. The same human figure we began this video with, but utterly transformed. The pancreas, which was pale and strained and slowly failing, now glows with the warm pink of restored function, its beta cells alive, producing insulin in measured, appropriate quantities in response to food. The blood vessels, which were rigid and narrowed and coated with glycated damage, are now flexible, wide open, and carrying clean, free-flowing blood at a healthy viscosity. The liver, which had been accumulating fat deposits as a consequence of years of insulin dysregulation, has cleared. The kidneys no longer labor under the burden of filtering a blood supply saturated with excess glucose. The retinas receive adequate oxygenated blood through intact, undamaged capillaries. The nerves, free from the inflammation that was causing that burning, tingling pain, conduct their signals cleanly and swiftly. A wave of golden blue light, the visual language of restored health, moves through this body from the ground up, from the cells outward, from the organs to the surface. It is not a miracle. Miracles are unexplained. This, every single step of it, has been explained. This is biology. This is the human body doing what it has always been perfectly designed to do, when given the molecular information it needs through the food we choose to eat. You are not powerless against diabetes. Your body wants to heal. The distance between where you are right now and this glowing, energized, liberated version of perfect health is 3 foods. JAMUN. Bitter gourd. Fenugreek seed water. Start tonight. Start tomorrow morning. Start now. If this video reached something in you, if it answered a question you have been carrying, or gave hope to someone you love, then please take 2 seconds right now and press the like button. That single gesture tells our team that this kind of deep, scientifically grounded health education matters to you, and it helps this video reach the millions of people around the world who are living with diabetes and who deserve to know that nature has answers. Click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because every single week on this channel, we go inside the human body and show you exactly how your food is talking to your cells, your hormones, and your organs in ways that most people are never told. And please, share this video. Send it to someone you love who is living with diabetes, or who is at risk. That share costs you nothing and could genuinely change the course of their health. We will see you in the next video. Take care of your body. It is the only home you will ever truly live in.